Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Jack Daniel's. This is their twice-barreled single malt whiskey, coming in at a 53.3% ABV, no age statement on the bottle. So this is a special release for Jack Daniel's, not only here in 2022, but in general. This is their first 100% single malt whiskey. Now, we've actually seen Jack Daniel's use that single malt in their triple mash, which I reviewed as well. And I thought it was alright for what it was going for, but it wasn't really quite my jam. However, I am a huge fan of single malt whiskeys. I have definitely been stepping into that realm, especially being a Scotch lover that I am. So a couple details we know on this bottle. First of all, this is a 700 milliliter bottle compared to the standard 750 we're used to seeing. So it is slightly less, but we're probably going to see more of that happen in the future, especially with these more limited releases. So Jack Daniel's actually takes their 100% single malt whiskey, put it into new American oak barrels for at least 4 years. They then transfer it over for an additional 2 years to Spanish Oloroso sherry casks. And this is bottled at cask strength, so you will see a slight differences on that proofing number. So let's get into it. As always, when we try it 2 different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second way, we'll add a drop of water, see what changes up. But yeah, I was really surprised I was able to snag this at the price I did. I didn't even expect the store to really have it when I contacted them. But as always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel itself. I'll be linking some other Jack Daniel's reviews up above and down below for you to enjoy. But yeah, here in 2022 and probably going into 2023 now, I've been a huge single malt fan for the United States. They've done some amazing things. And on top of that means that we're going into the sherry casks. I'm very, I'm excited. Especially by this color. This is a dark color. Look at that. That is almost dark red. It's so dark. All right. Well, let's start off with some notes. Woo, that ABV. But oh my gosh. That is chocolate. The ABV is we're going to let this puppy open up a bit because that ABV is very alive. But the chocolate. And ironically, you still get a bit of that Jack Daniel's classic in there, that little bit of maple going on. Because this is also charcoal filtered. Forgot to mention at the beginning, but that goes through their charcoal filtering process as well. Now, what's it called? The Lincoln County process. But that is chocolate and maple and sweet. That single malt in there is playing so well. You get that, definitely that little bite of barley. Oh. This isn't quite as luxurious dessert as I was expecting with the Spanish Oloroso sherry casks. Because I was expecting a little more fruit character to show up. It's kind of there. You get kind of a dark fruit note going on. But definitely, and yes, the ABV has kind of subsided a bit now that we've let it air up a bit. Because, man, that was potent. A little bit of spice in there. And that could be from the sherry cask as well. But the sherry cask played really well at this because sherries can either go beautiful fruit, a little nutty, or sometimes if they're kind of a weird cask, they can kind of go a little bit of soured fruit as well. But I'm not getting any of those off notes at all. But it's nice, chocolatey, malty, a little bit, almost like a chocolate, malted milk ball kind of concept. That's good. All right, let's go for taste. Oh, boy. Wow. That fruit character shows up on the taste. That's warm. I'm going to try to get acclimated here before I really talk about notes, because that is warm. Probably not the best whiskey to start off the day with, but I put my sacrifices on the table here. What can I say? All right, let's see if I can get some notes. Definitely chocolate and malty, but the malty is very fine in here. Oak is showing up beautifully. A little caramel, a little bit of that wood kind of showing up. A little bit of vanilla is showing up in there, just a little bit. The dark fruits, though, it coats the mouth so well. The dark fruits are clinging really well from that sherry cask. That is a gorgeous sip. Wow. I love it. I really freaking love it. The mouthfeel this one has. It's gorgeous. It's rich and decadent. Not quite dessert decadence, but it's just got this rich, velvety texture to it. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. Malty, but just a little bit. The dark fruit notes are playing here, and that's where this is shining so freaking well. Like a dark plum and raisins, almost like a pound cake, and similar kind of dates and really dark fruits. Boy, oh boy, that is rich and chocolatey. Yeah, I would say chocolate covered raisins. Yeah, that is gorgeous. Third sip here, getting a little more malty in there, but it's got that beautiful follow up with the sweetness going on still. Almost a bit of a waxiness going on, just a little bit. But this is a beautiful sip. Wow. The clinging mouthfeel is beautiful. It really holds well. I'm just floored. I'm actually really happy that I was able to test this one out, because I originally found a store that had one. And it was a little over market price, but I went up there and it was gone already. And my fault. But then I found it again at a different location, and I was able to snag it real quick. I was shocked. When I was expecting to open up the box that they put it in for me to pick up, and it'd be just a standard Jack Daniel's single barrel, and me cry. All right, let's see what the water does. Let's go for notes. ABV is kind of waking up a bit, but definitely the maltiness is showing up quite a bit more. And again, that ABV is going to subside as we keep going through this, most likely. But the fruit note really isn't quite as strong as I was expecting it to come through. Sometimes with the sherry cask, that fruit note can really waken up quite a bit. So I'm still getting all the character here. This just goes a little brighter, and it's got a bit more of the maltiness on there. Maybe a little bit more spice. Yeah, like almost that spicy characteristic that like a French oak can give. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad at all. It goes a little more simple on the nose, but the fruit note is kind of peeking through. It's trying to, but it's still not bad. Honestly, this is a pretty solid nose. All right, let's go for taste. Ooh, there we go. The dark fruits are elevated. It goes a little more like more berries, but not quite like a raspberry, anything like that. More like a dark, like a blackberry. It's a dark blackberry with a little bit of chocolate, like a dark, like almost cacao level, like 80-90%, very dark chocolate on there. Still get a little bit of the maple going on, but not much. So it feels like it's almost trying to keep a hold of that Jack Daniel's identity a bit. But the maltiness is showing up. The sherry cask is showing up, but in a different route. We'll go back to the neat version. That neat version. The cling that has takes you to another level. You don't, obviously, when we added that water, the cling of that really got washed away. But the oak does show up a little bit more on the taste. It's a little heftier on that. The maltiness is kind of showing through. Again, the orchard fruits. Again, those dark fruits are kind of shifted more towards berry. The chocolate notes go a little darker and less sweet, but that's still a good sip. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. The neat version's got all the character and class to it, where this is a different experience, but I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it that way. The neat version is just gorgeous. This is, it feels like it's almost losing its identity a bit and kind of trying to pull itself back to Jack Daniel's a little bit more. Because you get a little bit more of that maple, that deep oak impact is showing up here. And the sherry cask goes more to berry versus that is dark, deep plum and raisins. But still good. And yeah, the ABV has subsided quite a bit on it, so it's not as pungent, but that's still good. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. I was very fortunate that the store I went to was still selling this at market price, which is $70. To be frank, it's worth $70 all day of the week. And hell, with a sip like that, I'd easily pay $100 for it. I'd pay over $100 for it. Maybe $120 with that kind of profile to it. And being that it's Jack Daniel's first step into single malts, this is a gold standard if they can keep this going with them. The sherry cask is really showing up here. It's beautifully done. The single malt is very pronounced. And I love that they could still do their Lincoln County process to it, mellowing it out, but still kind of giving its Jack Daniel's stamp of approval while keeping its own identity as single malt sherry cask. Yeah, I'd have no problem at least paying $120 for this if you see it on the shelf. I think it's that good of a sip. If you can get this at market price, do it. Even a little above. I know here in 2022, pricing has been crazy different on the secondary markets. I'm already seeing some websites charge $500-$600 for this. It's not worth that. I don't think that any day of the week. But I would easily pay $120 for it. If this was priced that way, I would have bought it and just been just as happy. At $70, it's a steal. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Jack Daniel's twice-barreled single malt whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I really like it might